I see what you're saying. Oh, oh, gee.
So it was legal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's too bad.
There we go.
And you're in Clearwater next weekend.
Yeah.
Cool. Barb working.
I guess so, yeah.
Yep.
Must be. Okay, figured here?
Yep.
So will this have something to do with recycling?
What's that?
Will this have something to do with the recycling?
We'll find out here. It's more on the organics, I think.
That's interesting, because when you have a restaurant,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you see all the stuff,
Mhm. Yeah,
but then the cardboard part
yeah.
is the frustrating part.
Yeah.
So much cardboard now. Yeah.
9:29,
He's running late.
He's running late.
I know,
George is gonna
Yeah,
open the
I'll
meeting.
open the meeting.
so we'll
Yeah.
just start it when we.
Yep.
George can start it.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Oh, there's.
Never
someone.
mind.
Alrighty, there you are. Good time.
I was so worried about you, you were worried sick about it.
Wait, my kids trying to get him up to his mom's place. Did you already start?
No.
Okay, call the meeting to order. Acknowledge the Smoky Valley in which we learn, work, and organize as the ancestral unceded traditional territory of Smoky people, home of the Upper Smoky Indian Band. If I get a motion to adopt the agenda.
So we'll, second.
Thank you. McLean, Willis, all in favor? Carried. Right down to petitions, delegations. Chair guys, says Alan.
Good morning, Mayor and Council, and thank you for having us this morning. We appreciate your time and the opportunity to present on the draft solid waste management plan. My name is Alan Fillion. I'm the Managing Director of Development and Infrastructure Services with RDOS. And with me this morning is Venus Moreno Atienza and Joni Reimer, both fantastic members of our solid waste team. And also online is Lauren Kwan, is our consultant with Tetra Tech that will be presenting on the plan. So the The draft solid waste management plan has been in the works for probably about a year and a half now. Part of that process included developing a public advisory committee as well as a technical advisory committee, both which helped inform the draft plan, which is where we're at today. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, we'll be presenting to all the member municipalities and our First Nation partners, and we'll also be hosting community events to seek the public's feedback. I believe we are in Princeton next Wednesday night, the 18th at 6 o'clock at the library. So with that, I'll turn it over to Lauren. She'll run us through her presentation, and of course, happy to answer any questions as well. So thank you.
Good morning. I would like to share a presentation, but I don't seem to have that option
James.
on Teams, so I'm not sure if I can.
You should have the option. I put you in as an attendee, so you should be able to. Give me 1 second here. Need to present. Okay, how about that?
Yep, perfect.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so as Director Filling mentioned, we're here to present the Solid Waste Management Plan update. Regional districts are required to prepare solid waste management plans every 10 years. This plan replaces the 2011 Solid Waste Management Plan that was adopted by the regional district. The Solid Waste Management Plan is a framework to reduce waste and ensure that waste is properly managed throughout the region. So it addresses both the infrastructure and programs of the regional district, but also of all member municipalities. So member municipalities, First Nations, electoral areas are all key stakeholders for the plan. The Solid Waste Management Plan should guide waste reduction and solid waste activities for the next 10 years with a sort of long-term vision for 20 to 30 years in the future. It prioritizes waste management programs and investments using the pollution prevention hierarchy, which is on the right here, so trying to reduce waste, reuse items as much as possible, and then look at recycling, recovery, and how we manage residual materials. The Solid Waste Management Plan identifies the resources and the implementation schedule for key initiatives that are listed. There's a 4-step planning process that is required by the province. There's an initiation step, setting the direction of the plan, evaluating options, and preparing and adopting the plan. So currently the regional district is on step 4. The draft plan has been prepared and shared publicly, and now is looking for input from yourselves and the public. So the plan is meant to address how we manage municipal solid waste holistically within the region. So municipal solid waste includes any refuse that is generated by us at our homes, at our businesses, institutions, activities like construction, demolition, land clearing. It includes garbage, recyclables, food waste, yard waste. Typically, these plans don't address heavy industry, hazardous waste, biomedical waste, agricultural, forestry waste. If we look at what's going to landfills right now in the regional district, holistically, the region generates about 97,000 tons of waste each year. About half of it is recycled, so 50,000 tons ends up in landfill. That's about 585 kilograms per capita per year. And what you can see from the pie chart there is about 30% of the materials that are going to landfill would be fairly easily diverted to other existing programs. And then another 30% would be diverted through sort of expanded composting programs that could occur in the future. So in terms of what the what services and infrastructure the town of Princeton has that is addressed in the plan, garbage and recycling collection that is managed by the town, self-haul services or infrastructure. There's a return at depot, of course, and the Princeton District landfill, which, according to the last information we had, has about 70 years of airspace capacity remaining. So the plan itself has a number of different portions. The start of the plan is all about sort of guiding direction and vision. So the Public Advisory Committee had collaborated to define a number of guiding principles for the plan. Those are listed on this page. So looking at waste prevention, so preventing materials that don't need to go to landfill from going there, looking at zero waste approaches, looking at how we can make sure that the polluters pay instead of the sort of general public to maximize behavior outcomes, cost optimization, so looking to manage costs over time, considering both short and long-term financial considerations, developing collaborative partnerships with interested parties, and collaborating with other regional districts when practical, and then maximizing beneficial use of materials and managing residual materials appropriately. So those are the principles that sort of guide the plan holistically. Then the advisory committee, in collaboration with the regional district, also developed a number of goals for the plan. So exploring and supporting local waste reduction, reuse, repair initiatives across the region, increasing diversion of organics, recycling materials, and construction, demolition, and renovation waste materials to achieve a 450 kilogram per capita target rate, disposal rate, reducing improper disposal and waste management practices, including things like illegal dumping and contamination of waste diversion streams, optimizing disposal efficiency across the regional district with a focus on financial sustainability of solid waste services, and increasing collaboration with community partners and member municipalities to support development of local solutions. So there are a number of key initiatives that are listed in the plan. We wanted to highlight a few that we thought might be of particular interest to the town, but of course the regional district is happy to answer questions on any initiatives or anything else that you think should either be in the plan representing your current services and infrastructure or future aspirations that you have. So a big aspect of the plan is looking at organics. So the regional district, as you may know, has been working to construct a regional organics processing facility that would be adjacent to the Campbell Mountain landfill. Since that plan is not confirmed yet, the regional district is also working on an alternative plan that might look at transferring organic waste to one of the private facilities that is located within the regional district. The key thing to consider as the town is that whatever direction the regional district ends up going in, this likely gives you access to more organics processing capacity. So that could mean adjusting your collection programs. Most municipalities who are able to collect both food waste and yard waste will switch their collection process from every week garbage to every other week garbage, and then do weekly organics collection. So that is an option to consider in future, and depends mostly on the timing of that organics capacity. Additionally, the plan looks to expand organics collection to both commercial and the multifamily sectors, which would mean that there's additional educational materials that will be developed by the RDOS and other member municipalities. And the town could consider expanding collection services to include businesses. I believe you do some collection of multifamily already. So that would expand collection services again to try and divert more of those materials. The plan also focuses on trying to divert more materials from the construction and demolition sectors. So 2 key items here, potentially mandating deposits within building permit systems and requiring multi-stream bins, potentially increasing tipping fees to support markets for specific materials, and there's bylaw changes that have been successful in other municipalities that the regional district would look to support for municipalities, which is changing bylaws to require deconstruction instead of demolition for older buildings, particularly prior to the 1950s, which would allow for more recovery of useful materials. Things like mandatory waste diversion from the construction and demolition industry. And of course, as you know, any sort of bylaw changes on your end come with likely enforcement costs. So there is potential there and something to be considered in future. The solid waste management plan also looks to develop a disaster debris management plan. I know disaster management is a hot topic for a lot of municipalities, yourselves included. And so a disaster debris management plan, rather than specific recovery from a disaster, looks at what do we do with all those materials that are created by a disaster. So in the instance of a flood, things like fridges that people had to leave for 3 weeks in their homes, those types of things, any materials created by fires. So the plan looks to develop a disaster debris management plan in about 2030 to 2031. And so that would hope to be a collaborative approach with all member municipalities and the regional district to look at things like what marshalling areas might exist that could be used in future disasters, how could resources be shared, what sorts of services need to be arranged prior to the disaster happening. And then another big aspect of the plan is looking to optimize the waste disposal system. So the RDOS, the region is unique in having so many landfills that are, many of them controlled by municipalities, which part of the provincial push 20 years ago was to try and allow municipalities to stop taking care of landfills and moving them to regional districts. That didn't happen in the RDOS, so potentially looking to look holistically at the region and see which landfills it makes sense to continue to operate, who should operate them, what are the relative costs of closing facilities or closing facilities for some amount of time and then reopening of them in the future. So there's an opportunity there to discuss what the future of the Princeton landfill would be and how it operates and in what ways you could collaborate amongst yourselves, other member municipalities, and the regional district to create a more holistic, efficient system. There are, of course, some financial implications for the plan, the solid waste management plan. There's no new significant capital projects that are listed. The big capital project that is potentially going to happen in the next 10 years is the organics facility, but that was a big part of the 2011 plan, so it's not as much addressed here. Over the life of this 10-year plan, the spend from the regional district is about $700,000, so about $70,000 a year, and up to 1 staff member on average. On the municipal side, really the costs and staff time are going to depend on which initiatives the town adopts, but we see relatively minor staff time, mostly focused around things like bylaw changes or contributions to overall regional plans. And of course, since the Princeton District landfill is listed in the solid waste management plan, there's the cost of maintaining and managing that, which you already have budgeted, I'm sure. Another key aspect and something to think about, this is a provincially mandated plan, and therefore once there's consultation done on any topic within the plan, it's considered to be approved as the plan is approved. So a big push from some of your other member municipalities has been to ensure that there was borrowing allowed within this plan to maintain essential services. If there's some kind of situation in the future where the regional district or a member municipality loses a contractor and then needs to purchase equipment or lease equipment to continue to operate their landfill, collection services, that sort of thing. So this plan allows borrowing of up to $8 million to lease equipment or purchase equipment for specifically essential services that are listed within the plan. So the ones that are most relevant to the town are operation of the landfill recycling depot, curbside garbage yard waste recycling collection by yourselves or the regional district, and hauling between regional transfer stations and landfills if that needs to happen. So that's a bit of an overview of the plan holistically. Of course, the regional district is happy to answer questions now or in the future. The request is that there's a resolution adopted to support the solid waste management plan by the town, which the regional district would then include in the submission to the Ministry of Environment and Parks. There are a number of opportunities to provide comments either now or in the future on the plan, and to provide any additional information that you would like to be listed in the plan about the landfill, about your local services, anything like that that you would like to be represented can be added into the plan before it's finalized. So I think that's all in terms of presentation. I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you. I'm going to start. I got a bunch of questions. One, first is, why is agriculture not considered as part of this plan? I know we talked about it at the board last week, and agricultural plastics especially. Like, why are we not including agriculture in a solid waste plan? Anybody?
So agricultural waste is typically excluded because it's not considered municipal solid waste, so it's not a required aspect of the plan, but can certainly be included if that's the preference.
Okay. I guess this is to staff. The organics, are we still working towards Campbell Mountain as the organics? I mean, that grant has to be committed by what, this month?
Yeah, we just recently requested an extension to the grant, and I don't believe we've heard back yet. So we still don't have a decision from the LC, but we do have a draft RFP to go out for contract for the compost facility. That's the draft RFP is very close to being ready. I anticipate it'll go out end of month or early next month.
Okay. So I guess one of the things that came up was that regional districts were encouraged to take over landfills by the province, I guess, at some point. Is that like an end game plan for the regional district to take over Town of Princeton's landfill? Is that where you guys want to go with this? Because you run it a lot cheaper.
I don't know if Lauren wants to chime in or not, but I mean, the way I would answer that is that we're going to have an open mind and do a review, and ultimately we want to do what's the most cost-effective solution for the residents. So however that looks like, and so part of that could be considering amalgamating, and to me, in the top of my mind wouldn't be Princeton per se, but when we look at Campbell Mountain, Penticton, and then Summerland has a facility, Okanagan Falls has a facility, so does it make sense to have that many facilities that close together? It might, but it also might not, so we want to look at all the options.
Okay. Yeah, just, I know the increasing costs to Headley, and I could just imagine what the cost for Princeton would be to truck our garbage from here to Campbell Mountain. I mean,
Yeah.
it would, yeah, I don't want to make that decision. And the last one is around the recycling and the diversion from, it was like the circular economy and getting things out of the landfill and reusing and whatnot. So that's, how do you propose that? Because that is a major challenge. Even Recycle BC right now and all their, changes and trying to find new markets for other things. And then, like, if we want to, I'm guessing, like, sell some of the product or get it just not going to the landfill? I don't, like, how do you perceive that?
I might ask Lauren if she's able to assist with answering that question.
Sure. So in terms of the typical approach from a regional district or municipal standpoint, mostly what we see is people focusing on things like education and encouraging local services, things like repair cafes or repair services that could be offered, and sort of sharing that information with the public. But ultimately, the goal of listing something like zero waste or a circular economy is that we're all trying to move in the direction of creating less waste in the future. So on the municipal front end and listed in this plan are things like focusing more on education of residents, focusing more on supporting local systems and local organizations that contribute to this, and supporting things like provincial advocacy to include different aspects in the extended producer responsibility programs that would support more of these types of initiatives.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, give her.
Well, I guess I'm interested in the organic part of it in terms of, am I getting the impression that we would gather organic material and whatever and haul it to Campbell Mountain where it's dealt with there, or?
So that's what the regional district's working towards, is an organics, so like your table scraps and yard waste and whatnot. For us, I don't know if that would make sense. We don't have a truck to do it. Staff, actually, we were talking about this last week about possibility of a drop off. Like, you can just go up to the landfill like we do with the recycling now, and you can just throw your stuff in and then make it a deal with one of the local compost sites to, say, put in a big bin, and you just fill it up. When it's full, come grab it and take it up the hill. So I don't know if Campbell Mountain would be the right answer for us, because the amount of yard or green waste that we would create would be minimal compared to the Okanagan side of things.
The reason I ask it in my mind is we're a mining community. We've had mines all around us with, the most unorganic rock or everything else. And, I drove by Brenda Mines the other day, and it's just a big rock face. And I wondered why they didn't do, like, we hauled some organic stuff, and then covered to a certain extent. But it just seems like such a waste. I have a restaurant, and I throw a whole bunch of stuff out every day that, in my mind, could be gathered if it was all gathered and then we stored it somewhere. Is that an expensive undertaking? Or?
You can speak to that, Alan. Is it expensive? We're looking at, what, $10 million facility. So.
Yeah, it is expensive, but I'll maybe just mention that, like, as we touched on, one of the options is for the RDOS to build a facility up by Campbell Mountain. That's waiting on an ALC decision. If that doesn't move forward, irregardless, I don't anticipate that decision ASAP. So we will be going out to an RFP, like I said, end of the month or early next month, we could end up with a facility like Net Zero that's out in this area being our facility, and then we would have to have a transfer station and have it hauled out here. So in a scenario like that where a facility ends up being out in this neck of the woods, then it might make more sense for the town of Princeton to look at something as far as organics go. But there's a lot of questions that still have to be answered, for sure.
Thank you.
We're all exploring it. We're just trying to figure out how to make it feasible. And our new truck doesn't have the the third bin. Anybody else? I guess you're getting off easy.
Thank you, guys. We genuinely appreciate the opportunity today and allowing us to come out and provide an update, and have Lauren online. It was good that we could have her present. Ideally, we would have had her come in person, but the timing just didn't work. She's actually on vacation right now, so thank you, Lauren, for logging on, and thank you again for your time. We appreciate it.
Just before you do go, the agricultural waste, like at some point we're going to have to address that at the regional level, because I mean, Director Bush brought it up again the other day. It's getting harder and harder to dispose of agricultural waste. So unless we expect farmers to bury it in their backyard again, I think we're going to have to come up with some sort of plan and to deal with it. We're using more and more plastics. It's unfortunately, right? We're wrapping bales and all that kind of stuff. So I just throw that out to you guys to flag as a future thing to investigate.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a challenge, and they take up a lot of airspace in the landfill, so it is more and more of an issue.
So recycling has very little to do with you people?
We also have we also collect recyclables through the blue bin
Same as
process.
I
So-
guess what gets me is that I almost wanted to get council to bring in the BC Recycling and have them talk about the rules. I guess there is difficulty for them to find a place to dispose of it that can utilize it or whatever, but the rules that we go under here, and apparently everywhere is what they go under. It just seems as if all our wives and mothers are doing all that work to separate everything, and then it just seems as if it's just thrown, the big extent of it is just thrown into a pile somewhere and deposited in the landfill.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, Recycle BC has their rules. I mean, that's why we have two separate recycle programs, right? We have the Recycle BC Blue Bin, and then we have the recycle program up at the landfill where we find other markets that will take, commercial cardboard or whatever that we won't get fined for. So, yeah, but you guys work under the exact same Recycle BC rules we do, and
We do, and definitely the goal is to keep recyclables out of the landfills. With Recycle BC, there's I guess a couple options. So we at the RDOS collect the recyclables, and from Recycle BC, then we get coverage. We get paid to do that. I'm not sure what the town does, but you have that choice. You can kick it back to Recycle BC if you want them to run that program and manage it, or the local government can do it, and they get some funding, but they also have to be careful what they do with the contamination, because you can also get money withheld if you're not meeting contamination levels. So it is challenging for sure.
we have a hybrid model.
Yeah.
You can drop off at the landfill.
Depot.
That's separated, sorted differently than the blue bin stuff that just goes straight to Recycle BC, and then we're dealt with however we get dealt with.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr.
Thank
Mayor.
you. McLean, all in favor? Carried. We are done. That's how you're on a committee.